So where are we now? Remember, we've created our first chart in Excel, this simple bar chart or column chart, using the data that we entered into our Excel spreadsheet. We then spent some time modifying this chart. We adjusted the labels, we added in some axis labels, we changed the fonts, we changed the colors, and you saw that there are other things we can do as well. What we want to do now is we want to take advantage of all of our data and the fact that we can add more data to this chart to create what's called a clustered or grouped bar chart. And you may remember when we originally chose this chart type from our Insert menu, the option is actually a clustered column chart. But because we're only using a simple data set, we don't have two bars here. We only have one bar for our daily high temperatures, but what we're going to do is we're going to add in a second bar for each month for daily low temperatures as well. That's how this will become a clustered or grouped bar chart. Each month will have more than one column associated with it. So how can we do this? As in many things with Excel, we can do this two different ways. We can start completely over with a new chart, and so let's do that. Just as we did the first time, we can simply select our data, and notice this time I'm selecting all three columns: month, daily low temperature, and daily high temperature. Then we can follow our procedures as before. Use the Insert menu, go to our bar charts, and select our clustered column chart. And boom, we have this really, really quickly. And that's the advantage of this method, starting over from scratch, is we have the chart, the group bar chart, right away just by selecting our data and selecting the chart type. The drawback, as you can see, is that we've lost all of our formatting. We don't have the chart title. We don't have our fonts that we chose before. We have a different color scheme here. So maybe we want to keep those things. Maybe we like how our chart looks on the top here, and we just want to add new bars to that. We can do that as well. So let's get rid of this new chart that we created, knowing that we can always just keep inserting more and more charts into an Excel spreadsheet if we want to do it that way. But we'll get rid of this for now. We'll actually start over. We're going to start with this chart. And this is where that knowledge of the Select Data menu is going to become helpful, because we're now reselecting our data again. We already have our data here for our month column and our daily high temperature column. And what we're going to do is we're going to add a new series of data. We have daily high temp over here, and we're going to add something new. We're going to edit this series. First, we're going to give it a name, and we're just going to use the name associated with that column. So I'm just going to select this cell that says daily low temperature. That is now the name for our new data series. I'm going to clear out the series values, and I'm going to drag and select all of the daily low temperature data associated with that variable. And you can see behind this edit series window, our chart has been updating in real time, giving us a preview of what we should expect. This looks really good, right? We now have two bars associated with each month, and it certainly looks like we have a high and low temperature. So that's fantastic. One other adjustment we should probably make is notice what it says the horizontal axis labels are over here for our new series. It just gives them numbers. What we want those to be is we want them to be associated with months, just like with our first series. And so we're just going to select our new series that we added, these low temperatures. We're going to edit those axis labels. And we're just going to select the months again. So now we're re-entering these axis labels to make sure that those months are associated with our new data series, daily low temperature. And now we've just done that. Our daily low temperatures are associated with months, and our daily high temperatures are still associated with months, as they should be. So this looks fantastic. It seems like we've done a good job adding our clustered bars into our plot, and boom, we have. Excellent job, looks really good. There are still a few things we should probably change with this clustered bar chart though. Notice that our y-axis label is no longer accurate because it's no longer daily average high temperature. We also have low temperatures in there. So the first thing we'll do is we will just adjust this. That is no longer just going to be our daily average high temperature. It's going to be our daily average temperature. But what we don't have here is we don't have any information on which is the high and which is the low. So what we need is we need a legend. This is in our chart elements menu, this little plus menu that I showed you before. And if we click on that, we see this is one of our options. We can go ahead and we can add a legend in here. It gives us a preview even before I select it. I'm going to select that, but I don't like that it's over on the right because it's smushed our bars together a little bit too much. Let's see what we can do about that. Okay, if we click on that right-hand arrow, we have different orientations for where we can put that legend. Let's go ahead and put it at the bottom for now. I think I like how that looks. Perfect. Now finally, I think one other thing that we'd want to do is let's change our colors so that we can more easily distinguish these high and low temperatures. So remember, we deliberately chose a warm color for our high temperatures. Let's right-click and choose some kind of cool color for our low temperatures. Now you can see I'm sticking within our theme here. These theme colors have been pre-selected to sort of go with each other. I always take advantage of this option because candidly, I'm not very good at finding colors that go with each other. And who knows, maybe these don't go very well with each other, but we have a warm and cool color to represent our warm and cool temperatures, our high and low temperatures. And so things look pretty good. So what have we just done? We've seen two ways that we could modify this chart to turn it into a clustered chart. We could go back and start over and select all the data we want, and that's a perfectly fine approach, but remember we would have to redo all of our chart modifications. Or we can right-click onto our chart, reselect our data, and just add in that new data column. And then we're almost all set. We just added a legend, we changed our colors, and we have what I think is a really great looking chart that represents our average daily high and low temperatures by month for this area. And we can learn a lot from a chart like this. Excellent job. Soon you'll have some practice to make another chart just like this one.